Happy Friday, DYMP gang. It's another episode of Dear Younger Me podcast. We are your hosts, Nikki Johnson, aka Coach Nik, and Miss Roda Love. We want to welcome you all back to another phenomenal episode with another phenomenal topic with another phenomenal. I don't know. I could think of nothing else to say. With that being said, when you guys come in, say something. Now, we want to let you know that this episode is being pre-recorded. So your comments may not come up on the screen. I won't be able to put them up because we are recording this in advance. However, but that does not mean you cannot leave your comments down in the chat, and we will respond to them because we will be watching for your comments. So we also want to thank you all for your continued support. You can continue to support us by sharing this right now. Let someone know that we are on. Send it to them, tag them in it, and you can also find us on our audio podcast at Apple and Spotify. So please be sure to check us out over there. Rhoda, what's up, baby girl?
Hey, Coach Nik. Hey, everyone who's going to watch this video. I'm so happy to be on today. It's a good day. Happy Saturday to all my New Zealanders. Love you so, so much.
A happy Friday evening to all of our USAers. Thank you all for joining us. And Rhoda's going to tell us what we're talking about today. And we're going to jump right on into the topic.
Let's go.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
You know,
our Father's Day is in September.
Huh?
Our Father's Day is September.
Word? Wow. Yeah. Ours is the month after Mother's Day here. So it's happy Father's Day to all of you, whether you are in New Zealand or the U.S., but to the USAers. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, men of God, we love you.
All righty.
God bless you guys. If you're a dad, we honor you.
Or grandpa, or uncle,
or grandpa, or uncle, or
raising some children. We honor you.
We honor you, men. All around
yes.
The world.
Yeah.
So a few episodes ago, we talked about the role of a mother, and that was an amazing conversation. Do go watch if you haven't already.
Yes.
I believe that was the 7th episode. So I just wanted to talk something a bit similar to that, which is raising adult children, because I'm an adult and I thought it would be interesting to share my perspective on what I would love my parents to do for me at this age, because when I was younger I missed out on a lot of things, and then Coach Nik can also share her experiences as an adult child and as an actual parent. You guys can hear her perspectives as well. So just to recap from...
Softer.
Huh?
Your voice got really soft. I could barely hear you.
I'm sorry. Let me talk louder. Sorry. But recapping from the last video, if you didn't watch, I didn't have a close relationship with my mom growing up. Now we're good friends, all is well, but there is some things I wish that she would have done for me, said to me, taught me. And because I live away from home now, I don't necessarily get the parenting from her close up. So I just wanted to share with Coach Nik some things that I believe a lot of adult children desire, even at our age. I'm 25 years old. And even though I live away from home, there's some things I'd love my mom and dad to still do for me and teach me and talk to me about. So, yes. Does that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense. I love the title, What Your Adult Children Need, because as adult children, you can't raise them anymore, but you can guide them. I call it the guiding stage. So, yeah, I'm excited. Let's jump into the topic.
Let's jump in. So I think for those Gen Z babies watching, if you weren't super close with your parents when you were younger, now's a good time to have a few conversations with them. Tell them how you feel about things. Maybe if they did you wrong, maybe if you just have feedback for them. now would be a good time to talk to them about your upbringing and try to reconcile with them, forgive them, and see if you can build a healthy connection now at the age that you are. It's never too late just because we're in our 20s or 30s. Now's actually the best time because we're going to be parents soon ourselves. So it'll be good to not have beef with our real parents.
Beefing
As
out here in these relationship streets.
right. But yeah, like I mentioned before about my mom, something that I've had to really struggle with, Coach Nik, on my own is actually learning a lot about womanhood on my own. So that is the first thing I'd say, that I'd want adult children to not be afraid to seek help about.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much I don't know at 25 that I'm sure even 13-year-olds know. So that's the first thing I would choose to ask about. Um, yeah, womanhood. And if fathers are watching and they weren't, active with their sons, also teaching them about manhood in their 20s is not a bad thing either. Just
Mm-hmm.
going over some keys from that.
So there's such an advantage to this generation that you can go watch a YouTube video, a TikTok video, an Instagram video where there are women giving tips on hygiene and makeup and how to purchase your undergarments that my generation did not have growing up. So if you were without that type of guidance and leadership or parenting, like you found a way to get it. Sometimes it may have been somebody in the neighborhood or an older cousin, or maybe you ended up becoming friends with someone in school that became that for you. But now you have a highway of information that you can go pull any topic up. You can pull this topic up right here, right? We did one of our audio episodes where we were talking about specific things, and you can pull those things up on podcasts now. So there's such an advantage in that area. It's not the same as having that relationship with someone that you can talk to, but at least the information is there. The other thing would be is a lot of us from my generation would get that from like maybe grandparents. If your parents were absentee or just not able to parent you in that way. You had grandparents, but you had the mothers of the church. You had the older people of the church there that whether you wanted the advice or not, they was going to give it to you. Um, so that I would say that would be the difference between what we experience versus what you have now. But again, it's still not the same as having that relationship with a parent that you can get that from. If you're an adult child now and you want to get that from your parent, now it's more in again what I call a guiding, because they can't parent you now as far as raising you because you're an adult, but there's still a lot of amazing advice that can be given if you're willing to listen and they're willing to give it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate you saying, we have more resources like YouTube and TikTok and stuff. But I know for me, there are still some things I wish my parents would sit with me and talk to me about
Hmm.
face to face or over the phone. It's more
Yeah.
personable, it's more intimate. It shows that they're caring, that they're
Yeah.
listening, that they're there. And I think that's very comforting. So I
Yeah.
hope.
It is. And a relationship with someone that will tailor the advice a little bit more to you. Hopefully it would. So, but if you just don't have it, you always have the information available.
Facts, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. But moving away from home, like, that's a huge sign of independence, right? So I guess a lot of parents might feel like, yes, like we're empty nesters and the kids are gone. Yay, freedom.
Mm-hmm.
But for us who do move out, we still appreciate a lot of chickens, a lot of life prep, bills and working and even managing finances. Um, just asking us how we're doing. I know I've struggled silently a lot since I've moved away from home, because I don't want to seem irresponsible or not independent. I haven't reached out to my folks when I've been in need as much as I should have. So just parents, if you have adult children who've moved out of home, do check on us, call us, visit us, see the place that we live. Come dine with us, come hang out with us, give us financial tips if you're able, because it's a whole different thing and it can be very lonely to adjust to this whole new lifestyle. What would you say about that?
First of all, I think it's awesome that you would say that. But honestly, reality is it's a lot of adult children that do not want their parents telling them stuff like that. Mom, I got this. Dad, I know. Yes, I know. Yeah, I got this. And that's the response that we get. There are some kids, when they are really wanting to get that independence to move out on their own, they don't even want to invite you over. Like, they want to experience this without parental input. When they're ready to invite you over, they invite you over. I do have friends that have relationships with their children to where they are kind of paying for it. It's odd to say this. They're paying for their child's independence. They're paying for the apartment. They're paying the bills. They're paying the car note. The child is just living at home. And to me, that's not quite independence. You're just living away from home. You're still dependent on your parents. But they pay for that. And so the parent is very involved in the adult child's life, which is cool for them. But then there are some that are like, I don't want my parents in my business telling me how to spend my money, who can live in my house or what I'm doing. And they don't want to divulge any information, nor do they want to receive the advice. Then you have the combo of that. They don't want you in the business. But when they get stuck and they can't pay the rent or they need money for food, they are blowing up your phone because then they want you to intervene and give them what they need. That's it. Don't give them everything else. They don't want the advice. They don't want to hear things like, what are you doing with your money that you can't? They don't want to hear all that. They just want you to pay the stuff that they can't pay and going on about your business. So I just found it interesting that you're like, come have dinner with me, teach me finances, when some are like, I don't want my mom and them in my business like that. So that was interesting. I want to hear from y'all in the comments. Have you experienced the mom, dad, come, please come, sit with me, love me, enjoy the place? Or have you experienced, okay, you've been here 20 minutes, it's time to go. You're in my business a little bit too much. What has been your experience with your adult children?
Yeah, let us know in the comments. Because for me, in my circle, what I'm saying is normal. So I'm shocked at what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it could be just a cultural thing, being in the States, me being over here. But yeah, me and my people, not like that.
Yeah, I'd love to hear from y'all in the comments for sure. And also, if you are an adult child, like your parents are still living, how did you feel, or how do you even feel now? And I know some of us at a certain age, you want your parents constantly there, but you reached a certain age. But when you first got out on your own, think back 10, 15, 20 years. Did you really want your parents telling you about your finances, teaching you how to shop, coming over to the crib and talking about the way you decorate? Like, how did you feel about that? Yeah, what are your thoughts?
Me, or are you saying they can comment?
I'm asking them to comment, but you already shared with us what you want. Like, you want that input. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how you said, some adult children will be like, stay away from me. I got this. I got this. They might say all that, coach, but there come certain points where they really are struggling. And it's just nice to have the parents check in anyways, you guys don't have to be annoying, but it'll be nice for you guys to check in regardless, even if they have that, I'd say, facade or front, no offense, of I got this, because there's a lot that happens away from home and that's very new to us and scary sometimes. So if you're a parent, still check on us regardless. Please.
I mean, she that's the truth. She's spitting facts, but the reality is, and I know it's hard to believe, there are children that do not want you checking in on them. I have 2 adult sons, and one of them, I just saw him on my oldest son. I just saw him at a family event, and I had not seen his face physically in over a year. We live in the same city.
Wow.
When I couldn't reach him, I had been leaving messages, texting, calling. I went to his homeboy and was like, tell your boy he needs to talk to me. His homeboy was mad. He was like, what you mean, Miss Nikki? Hold on 1 second. Within like 10 minutes, I got a call. And I said, what is the problem? Mom, I just been working. I've been busy. I'm so sorry. You haven't, but even in you haven't thought to call me. Like, I've been reaching. So that's not a fact for every adult child. Some of them want to just live on their own. And when they come around, they come around. He comes around, he's amazing. But there are times when he just wants to be with his people, his girlfriend. He ain't thinking about me. So, that's not for everybody. I would say parents, do your due diligence. But if they don't want to be bothered, you can't force it. Then you have some that want to be underneath their parents 24/7. So yeah, I'm interested to hear what the dynamic will be when the people respond. So yeah.
For sure. Please, guys, comment your experiences. Yeah. No judgment here. We're all different. So it'll be interesting to see, your guys' journey about this.
Facts. Yeah.
Now I'm like, oh my gosh, is everything I'm going to say, like, you're going to have opposite?
I mean, if I do, it's okay. We're not the same people, so it's cool. But
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. When I see
that 47-25, it's okay. It's all right.
Right, different generations.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But when I said at the start, Coach, about adult children having conversations with their parents about their upbringing, whether it was bad or good, what's some advice or input you can have on that? And did you ever do that as an adult child, like talk to your parents?
Oof, a lot. One of the first conversations I had with them as an adult was an apology to them, because like they used to annoy me, like always fussing about the lights being on and always fussing about you being in the refrigerator and eating, just things that parents do that just annoy us, right? Till you get your own place and you understand why they were doing it. Those light bills are real. There's a reason why they were fussing about the lights being on, and you're running the TV and you're on the phone and the lights are on and the air is on, because they were thinking about how much they would have to come off that money for that light bill, the electricity bill. So once I was out, because I've been on my own since I was 17. Once I was out and started paying my own bills and my own rent, taking care of my own child, I was like, well, I apologize, because I didn't realize it was like this. Life is real out there in those adult streets, and you don't realize that. When you're a child, you're just annoyed and you're ready to leave, or you're in a very bad home life situation, which is my testimony, and you leave for the sake of your mental or your safety or whatever it is. But still, you get out there in those streets, and the streets don't care nothing about you. This world don't care about you. So you learn those hard knock lessons. So yeah. Child. So that was one of the first things I did, was I made some apologies. The other thing would be is when it was time for me to get some healing and have those tough conversations. I had many of those throughout the years. They were not always easy. They were rough. Sometimes I was terrified to have them, because number one, they're triggering, they're bringing up memories and all of that. And then you have to tell your parents the truth, and they're not always receptive to hear the truth. And it's hard to tell a parent that your best was it wasn't best for me. So I've had many of them. I had one right before the end of 2022 with my mother, because my father who raised me, he's passed away. And so, but I had to have a conversation with my mother right before the end of 2022. And it was one of the most healing conversations. It was myself and my younger sister and her. We were all on the phone talking. And, sometimes parents have to hear truths that they didn't know existed, like experiences these children have had that they were right underneath your roof and you didn't even know that it happened. And they're painful, but they are the truth and they have to be spoken. And so, yeah, we've had quite a few of those.
When you were an adult child, what made you say, oh, let me talk to my parents, like let me open up to them?
Because I was so misunderstood. There will be things said about me or to me about something that I did and why they thought I did it. And I'd be like, did y'all forget? Y'all in the same house, you know? And I think all adult children want to be understood. I know children want to be understood. They want to be respected for their own individuality and thoughts and experiences. They don't get that because, you know, you're a child. But when you're an adult, you want to be respected for who you are, but you also want to be respected for what you've gone through. And when you have parents that are talking about you or to you as if your experiences never existed and the reason why you did things were for these other reasons, there comes a moment when you're like, okay, hold on, let's pause. Let's be real and honest in this moment now. This happened. And because that happened, that affected me this way. And this is why I did that. I didn't do it for that. And I wasn't being this way because of that. One time I had to tell them because there was a point in my early teenage years, they were going to send me off to a girl's home. I was getting in trouble at school on purpose. I was disrespectful on purpose because I was acting out, hoping that someone would say, what is wrong with you? So I could tell them. Nobody would ask, though. They just always assumed, you know, you got an attitude or you're just mean and nasty. And I was like, if I've gone from really super sweet to sour, someone should be questioning why. I tried to tell them some things that had happened to me. And, you know, you kind of get to be quiet. Nobody's really listening type thing. That's the, you know, you keep your mouth shut type thing. And so I thought if I cut up in school, you know, if I act up here, someone's going to ask me, what is wrong with you? And then I could tell them, and it didn't happen. And instead of hearing like when they would say, you know, you done lost your damn mind. Who are you? What's wrong with you? They weren't really asking me. It was kind of fussing at me. And so it got to a point where they were talking about it again when I was older. And they were saying how, you know, I was this way and I was that way. And I was like, that's not even what happened. This was going on in my life. And I just wanted someone to care enough and ask me so I could tell you. And then it was like, wait, what? Yes. You know, and so from then on, we've had quite a few more conversations to kind of break that down a little bit more. Some things were found out when they read my book. Some things I just had to go ahead and just be honest about. No, we're not going to keep saying this happened and it didn't. Let's be honest. This is what happened. This is my truth. It hurt me. And whether you want to deal with it or not, this is what I experienced. And you can't take that away from me. So, yeah, we've had those.
And when you had those like super honest conversations with them, Coach, how did they respond? When you were in your 20s?
My father he wasn't very receptive to it and wasn't very nice about it. I later found out it was because that was just too hard to hear. That was just like, what? Because I think what he heard was, as a father, he dropped the ball. So because he dropped the ball, X, Y, and Z took place. There were things that he died never knowing happened to me. Wow. He was not alive when I wrote my book. And so a lot of stuff that was told to my mother. And it was hard. I'm not going to lie. It was hard to tell her. It was hard for her to hear. At the beginning, there were moments when it was like, no, that ain't what happened. Your attitude was just nasty. No, that ain't why that was. It's just because you were this way. No, that's not why that was. And that would make me shut down because I'm like, you're still not listening. Never mind. And then I would try it again in a different setting, a different time, a different phase of life. And it may be a little bit more received, but then she would start talking about, well, I can understand that because this happened to me, but da 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 da. And I'd be like, it's still being dismissed. So I shut down again. And then it got to a point where God has changed me so much. And I've had to tell my truth to the world on stages, in my book, different engagements, on different podcasts and radio shows and live radio and everywhere else, that telling my story was no longer scary. this confidence rose up in me. And I realized for me to get my complete and total healing, I got to tell my truth, and I can't worry about how it's received or what the response is. It's my real truth. But I learned, though, in that boldness and confidence, it started setting other people free because it gave them permission to talk. It gave them permission to also forgive themselves, because I had to be, excuse me, willing to be humble enough to speak my truth, but not place blame. So because I didn't go in shaming and placing blame, the moment I would see shame or blame rise up in the person, I would say, no, 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 it's not your fault, because I now understand why you did what you did. And then there were moments when I didn't quite understand, but the grace was there. So they would explain, I didn't know because this was happening to me. So I thought, and then this happened. So that allowed a lot of healing and conversation to take place. Did it happen overnight? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But once that boldness kicked in and that power from the Holy Spirit just really, really, really endowed me with so much love to be able to express my story. Now I can say anything, and whether it's received or not, I don't even care. I can say it, and I can do it in love, and I can do it being a safe place in return. So yeah. Now I want to ask you, have you had these conversations yourself where as an adult you've gone back and said, mama or daddy, bada bing, bada boom, and this is what it is? Have you done that yet?
Well, first, I'd like to respond to what you just said. It was so good what you just shared, Coach, and thank you for telling us. And I hope that everybody listening got courage to have those conversations, regardless of how they respond. I think it's so freeing for
Yeah.
yourself to tell your truth, tell what
Mm-hmm.
happened to you, because usually we hold it in for years, we suppress it for years, we're
Yeah.
angry, disappointed for years. So saying our truth is really necessary. Yes, I've had those conversations before with my dad because
Mm-hmm.
I'm a daddy's girl.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not hard for me, right?
Right.
But what I do want to be able to do is talk to my mom about something,
Yeah.
yeah, or ask her some questions at this age. But with my dad, yeah, always, all the time. And he's
Yeah.
very receptive. He's very apologetic, very understanding.
Mm-hmm.
I'm blessed. It's easy for me to talk to him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But with the mom,
Yeah, I'm waiting to
I don't
hear.
know how that's gonna go. But
Are you, do you think you're moving closer toward the day of having the conversation?
you know what? Maybe you can help me. Part of me is you know what? All this crap happened in the past, right? But we're all over it. She's living her best life. I'm living my best life. Should I really still open up the can of worms? Because I don't have any, bitterness or unforgiveness in my heart. But then another part of me is well, maybe it is good for her to be aware of some things, because I'm going to share my story to the masses. And when she hears it, I don't want it to be like, Rhoda, what the heck?
Yeah.
You never told me. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So here's one of those go deeper moments. Is the consolation? Well, we're good. She doing her best. I'm doing my best. Like, we out here doing the thing. So don't open up the can of worms, because that takes the pressure off of you to have the conversation. And I'm saying this because I'm sure your dad's living his best life too, but you haven't with him. Why? Because it's easy. He's receptive. There's not much pressure there. But your dad is probably still living his best life. So I feel like the best life is your scapegoat to saying, so I probably really don't need to bring all that up. However, and but I'm going to tell the masses. And if you're telling the masses, but you live in your best life, why are you telling the masses? There's a reason why the masses need to be told, right?
Yeah.
So I would say if you can't do it from a place of love and understanding, maybe you shouldn't do it for the purpose of not crushing her if God has brought her this far. But if you're in a place where you can do it from love and understanding, I would say go beyond the fear and do it. So it's not the first exposure from the book. However, and but I told you, and I shared with you all in 2 episodes ago, the one where we talked about a mother's role. There were some things my family didn't find out till they read my book.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But I realized it was the best way for them to find out. Other things I talked about, but also them reading it from the book opened up the door for other things to be revealed. But that was my path. That might not be yours. So seek the Lord. I would say pray about it. And if it's a fear and apprehension that's keeping you from do it, go beyond the fear and do it. You can do it in love and have that conversation. And it doesn't have to be nasty. But if it's one of those, I'm not in a place where I feel like I can do it and restore her at the same time, then maybe I shouldn't, because you don't want to crush anybody. It's not about that. It's not about making them feel worse because you feel bad. So yeah, that would be the advice.
Thank you so much, because that was definitely my fear of crushing her and ruining this best life chapter. I don't want to do that. So it's nice to know that I can still say things in a gentle, loving way, and from a place of, I just want to let you know for me, but I'm not mad at you. So thank you. I'll take that on board for sure.
Yeah. And you can also think about your vocabulary. I just want to let you know it's different from, I just want to share something with you. And I'm going to be talking about it, more in depth. And however you're doing it, whether it's a book or whatever, the masses are going to hear it. I'm going to be sharing it more in depth. But I realized I never shared it with you. And I just want to share that part of my life with you. That's way different. I just want to let you know, right? So I would say pray about vocabulary when you're doing it. Vocabulary it's amazing how gentle vocabulary can help to deliver something with honey. But it can also be vinegar, and it could be venom, depending on what you say and how you say it. Could the conversation kind of turn a little left? It could, depending on her reception of it. But going with the pure heart and the motive, with the pure heart and pure motive. And I think you're going to be fine.
Thank you so much. I received that. I do. That's great advice. So how me and you are talking right now, Coach, is how I wish I could talk with my mom. How we're talking right now, and how you're giving me advice and wisdom. I think this is what all adult children need, just a safe place to just talk, ask questions, ask hard questions, be challenged to have hard conversations, get wisdom on how to have them. Like, this is exactly what adult children still need. We don't know everything. We don't.
Ooh, if they'll just realize that they don't, though, that would make it so easy.
I don't know what Gen Z babies you run into, Coach, but I can admit I don't know. I don't know a lot.
You know what's crazy? For a generation that runs to social media to see and know everything, when it comes to having one-on-one conversations, they act like they know everything. And I'm not saying all, but oh my God, I got this. I know that. I understand that. I didn't ask you for all it. If you had it and you got this, I wouldn't be seeing you go down the road that you're going. But you're right. You got it. You are so right. You got it. And I'm going to pull back. I got you. I'm going to pull back.
I don't like that attitude. I will rebuke them. Guys, don't be like that. It's so fake. We don't got it. And how are we supposed to? We're only 20, right? 20, 25, 19, right. 18. We're 30. Not supposed to have it. 30. We're not supposed to got it. So no. I hate when people front like that. It's not helpful. It's not honest.
Yeah. It's like, no, we have it not.
Gen Z, dear Gen Z, get it together. Gosh. No, but seriously, I'm so thankful, for this conversation. And adult children need it still.
Can I say this? Can I say this to the adult children? Let me say this. If this is what you need, ask for what you need. I always call it an ask and tell. You say, I really would love to have these type, I mean, excuse me, mom or dad, I really would love to have conversation with you where I can sit and get like adult advice. Like, I've been out here on my own. I don't know everything. I really need to learn this credit thing. I need to learn how to budget. And I would love to sit down with you sometime and just kind of pick your brain and get some advice from you on X, Y, and Z. Sometimes parents don't know that you need the help if you don't ask for it. You're out there doing your best thing, living your best life, or struggling, but you're doing it secretly and not picking up the phone and calling anybody. They don't know. They don't know that you want to hear from them in that manner, right? Parents, the things that you don't know, be honest what you don't know about. If you don't really know about credit, you know what? I really don't know, and I'm still working on my credit, but I think it's a couple of websites. We could take some classes together. I got a friend that's a CPA. Like, be honest about what you don't know. And I think your children will appreciate that honesty. What you do know, share it. I don't know a lot, but I know I messed my credit up. I know I got some credit cards and I ran them suckers up doing this. Like, just be honest with what you can be honest about. Get them help for what you don't know. And children, ask for what you need. Ask and tell. Ask them what you want. Tell them how you like it. And I mean, because none of us can read minds.
True.
You grown. But what do you need? Grown child? Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely have to speak up and say
Yeah.
what we
Tell your mama you miss her fried chicken. Tell her. Ask her
Oh,
what the recipe is, or ask her, can she make it for you? Want some? Like, open your mouth. But you know, we get grown and we won't say nothing no more. And we get all prideful and stuff. Y'all better drop that pride.
in Jesus' name. Like today, right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that attitude at all.
Yeah.
I should make a video, dear Gen Z, because no, I don't like that attitude at all.
Yeah.
We still need you guys at our adult age, for real.
Yeah.
We do.
Agreed. And if your parents are no longer here, reach out to somebody else, auntie, godparents, grandparents, neighbors that you trust, your wife or your husband or your girlfriend or boyfriend's parents, if you can trust them like that. But yeah, reach out. Reach out. You'd be surprised who's willing to pour into you. Yeah.
Sure. There's people like Coach Nik as well, who are life coaches. Plug.
Love the plugs. You're always plugging. Thank you, baby.
It's okay. Seriously, there are great life coaches like her, this way her, who can help you, with anything about life. And that is the cool thing about technology, is that there are some wise mentors we can get virtually, who can make a difference in our real life. So definitely don't feel like, oh my gosh, my parents have passed away, there's no hope for me, or they're so difficult, there's no hope for me. There's so many Gen Xers and baby boomers who are good and will help us for sure.
Yes.
Something I was going to bring up, Coach, is what adult children need is support in life. I've seen some parents just let their kids go and do whatever, but they're not getting support in their careers and their studies and what they're trying to pursue. So in my experience, I wish I had both of my parents more involved in my big life decisions, what I'm going to study, what job I'm doing, how's it going, where do I see myself in 5, 10, 15 years. I think those type of heart-to-heart conversations would have really enhanced my life a lot. Yeah.
I agree. I agree. I love your desire to have that from your parents. I love it. I just wish everybody don't feel like that though, but I love your desire to have that. Do I think it would be beneficial? Absolutely it would. If you have healthy parents. Some parents still want their children to be children, but they're adults and they don't know how to let go, or I mean, you got some unhealthy parents that are holding on to 40, 50, and 60-year-old children, not letting them make their own decisions. They're still living in the house and they treat them like children. That's not healthy. That is not healthy at all. So, there's a fine balance to it. Some parents, like, the child doesn't leave the house until they get married, so they don't, that in whatever age that is. Meanwhile, the mom is still doing all the laundry, doing all the cooking, dad is paying all of that child's bills, and they are full grown and in the home. For some families, that dynamic works for them. It's a generational thing. For other families, it's like, you need to go get your own place. Like, I'm tired of taking care of you. I can't afford it. So I would say find the balance in what Rhoda is saying. However, if your children are receptive to still being guided, guide them. You can't raise them, they're grown, but you can definitely guide them. If they don't listen, that's not on you. But hopefully they're going to be receptive to it. And if your parents are willing and able to guide you, listen. Some things they may not apply because technology and society is so different, but you don't have to be disrespectful with it. You can always eat the fish and leave the bones on the table. In other words, take what you can out of these lessons and the advice that they give you. If they give you something that just sounds so off that, mom, we don't even have it existing anymore, then how can I tailor that to me right now? How can I make that work for me and what I want in my life? Maybe your parents have an answer, maybe they don't. Maybe their answer is going to always be, well, that's how we did it. That may not be how your child wants to do it, though, but at least they're there to offer it. If you receive it respectfully, but open your mouth and have dialogue with them, that's wonderful. You and dad did that, but that's not going to work for me. Then maybe y'all can come up with something together. But I would say just find the balance in what Rhoda is saying.
Yeah, find the balance.
I know for you that's just weird because you're like, no, I want my mom and them to tell me. But yeah, for those that's not how it is, find the balance.
Yeah, definitely find the balance. But parents, if you do have a good connection with your adult children, check up on their career life, their studies, like support. Because the worst thing is your child doing your adult child pursuing something or working, trying hard, and then you don't care, you don't ask, you don't try to offer value
Mm-hmm.
or support. That's
Mm-hmm.
very lonely and discouraging. So
Yeah.
please ask us about those things. They'll be really helpful. And
Yeah.
say congratulations, like be encouraging.
Yeah.
Be encouraging. Yeah, that's what I'd say to parents about that.
And parents, don't be jealous of your children. Don't be jealous. Don't allow your jealousy to keep you from having a relationship with them and being able to pour into them and to celebrate them because of your own areas of jealousy, because they're further than you were at their age, or they have more. They may be skinnier or have an amazing relationship and you may not. Whatever it is, just don't be jealous and it impede your ability to guide your adult children. I know Rhoda keeps speaking in a manner like they're young adults, like 17 to 20, but even if they are 25 and above, they're in their 30s or 40s and you're in your 70s or 60s, same manner, same thing. Don't allow your own insecurities and jealousies to impede your ability to guide your children or to just be there for them. Adult parent, a parent to an adult child.
Oh, definitely. We're just lucky to be born in this era that we are, because I know you guys had it a lot harder than us. But that's not our fault. So you're right. They shouldn't be jealous, but maybe even happy that we have the resources we have and
Yeah.
we're doing really well. They should be proud, and they can take some credit for that as well. Like if your adult children are amazing, just be like, yeah, I raised them.
Yeah. I did.
It was
I
on me.
did. Yeah.
Just flex on that.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that though. Don't be jealous, please. That doesn't help
Mhm.
us either. When
Yeah.
our parents are jealous, it gets weird.
Yes, it does.
It gets
Hmm.
really weird.
It is so
And
weird.
the last thing I'm thinking of, Coach, for adult children is when it comes to relationships. Us having romantic relationships, right?
Hmm.
Please, parents. Oh, God. Be nice, okay? Be a safe place for us to tell you the tea, okay? I don't know if anyone's African watching, but that can be so intense. The whole topic of relationships. It's like you're not allowed to talk about boys. But then when you're 25, like I am, my mom's like, why aren't you married?
Why aren't you married? I know.
I wasn't allowed to talk to guys.
Right.
And she's like, where's the ring? Someone at church was like, Rhoda, where's your kids? So just be open to us talking to you about our love life from young. Always be a safe place, and then you can give us your wisdom on that and guidance. But don't be doing what y'all did to me, okay?
That is so good, though, that you would say that. But as a parent, I'm going to be honest, it's not the easiest when you meet who your child is dating. You be like, what are you thinking, child? What? That is not easy. It's not easy. It's not. And then the other side to that is when your adult child is in a dangerous or a detrimental relationship. There's abuse of some kind going on there. There's something, some cheating, some low self-esteem on the part of your child, or they're with somebody that's just really not good for them at all. And if there are grandkids involved, they're not good for the grandkids. And you can't make your adult child do anything. You can't make them leave them. You can't make them hear what you're saying. So to be that safe place and listen so you can give the tea and not say anything and not be judgmental or not give your opinion or your concerns, that's not easy. That is like watching your best friend walk. Did you not see that train coming? But they tell you ahead of time, now there's going to be a train coming, but I don't want you to say anything. And you're watching it and you can't say anything. Parents are in the dilemma of losing their children because if I say something, you won't tell me anything. You told me something before, you asked me to intervene, I intervened, and you got back with that person. Now you're like, okay, now you can't say anything. Like it's not easy, child. It's not that black and white, but on the surface of it, if you can be that safe place so your child will have someone to come and talk to, that'll be wonderful. When you're in that other situation, it takes a lot of strength to not say anything because a loving parent is going to say something. Baby, I see that bruise on you.
Yeah, no, I definitely want the parents to say their opinion, but my thing is like, be safe for me to approach you in the first place. You know, like be open in step one. Be open for me to come talk to you about my love life if I have one. You know,
right?
And you guys can say your opinions and stuff. Navigate that. Good luck. God bless you. But first, you know, just be that safe place.
Yeah.
I know in our last episode about the role of a mother, we were saying how mothers are meant to be safe places, right? So if you're a mom and you weren't like that to your kids, like you tell the village your business and stuff, now that they're adult children, apologize and try and mend that. Like it's not too late because there are really important things we do need you guys to be involved in, especially when it comes to stuff like marriage.
You know? Yeah. Another thing would be is just remembering that if they are adult children, you're no longer raising children. They are adults now. They just happen to be your children. So you have to talk to them differently. You have to guide them differently. They want their thoughts heard about their own life and their own situation. Sometimes those thoughts be whack. They be whack as heck. And you wonder who raised you that you even think this way. However, but my grandmother used to say they have to come over fool's hill. In other words, they have to journey in life where they're going to make mistakes and do some stupid stuff. And once they get over that hill, that's when responsibility kicks in. That's when the reality of life kicks in. That's when they start getting really wise and realize I'm doing some stupid stuff. I need to get my life together. And then they start to come down Fool's Hill and they start making better decisions. Sometimes you just have to pray them through those stages. Pray them through the dumb stuff and the what are you thinking moments, because, you know, it's going to be a couple of them. You're going to be like, what is your problem? Oh my God. But they are still grown and you can't make the decisions for them. So be there to guide them and pray them through it. Please pray for your kids. Because for some kids, that fool's hill is steep. And you're like, will you ever come down? My gosh. But anyway.
No, now you just teasing us.
So listen, I met a man yesterday coming from the grocery store, and he had did 23 years in prison. He was tatted he was tatted even at his hairline. It was tats everywhere. And I think he thought I would like be nervous around him or afraid of him. Child, you a person that had a past. Who doesn't? And that just made him open up and talk to me even more. And he was like, I did 23 years. He went in, I think, at 16 or 17 because he was just making decisions. He wasn't listening to nobody. He was out there just doing some raggedy stuff. So he had to do 23 years. The reason why it was 23 was even in jail, he was still making bad decisions. He's like, I'm out now, I'm married, and I have a baby on the way. It's young dudes that walk up to me ready to do the stuff that I was doing. And I say, you got it, you can have it. Because he had to learn his decisions and the way he was thinking about stuff got him 23 years. Now to live a different type of life, you got to think differently. So when he sees young men now doing the same, just thinking the same way he did, he's real quick to recognize it and real quick to also say, what I'm not going to do is get myself in that predicament because I learned. I'm saying all that to say sometimes they just are in a season where they're just not making good decisions. But when they get it, when they come off of Fool's Hill, they get it. And this young man, he got it. Like he has it now. He's in church. You ought to hear him talking about God, his excitement about God in his life, because he got it. But it took him a moment to come off of Fool's Hill. So yeah, pray your kids through those times. Pray them through it. Yeah.
Oh, what an amazing testimony he has.
He's an amazing young man. His light is huge. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you ever watch this, we love you. Well done.
We love you, Jesus.
Yes, we love you, Jesus. Like, let's go to church, let's worship. I love that.
Yeah, amazing story. He's an amazing person.
Definitely. Oh, thank you for sharing all that you shared today. That's all I had to say, honestly. But guys, do comment like your experience as an adult child, or if you have any questions, parents, about adult children, how to handle them, drop us a comment, or even email us. That can be more personal, and we can just give you some guidance on that. But thank you so much, Coach, for like talking about this with me and giving me advice. I appreciate you so much.
Absolutely. Can't wait to hear other people's thoughts, since our perspectives were so different and the desires that you want are so different than some. But there may be a lot of people that are like, just like you, please give me all the advice. Come fix all the food and come eat with me. Give me all the whatevers. So I can't wait to hear people's response to the topic and what we talked about. But parents, just remember that your children, your babies are grown now. So the relationship you have with them shifts a little bit. Just be willing to shift. The love doesn't have to change. Just be willing to shift a little bit. And children, adults or not, sometimes you got to shift. Help your parents in the shift. Help them in the shift. Yeah. That'll be all I have for today, child.
Sure. The last thing I'd say to Gen Zs is like, don't pretend that you got it all together. We're not meant to be super wise and all-knowing at the age we are, and our parents are still alive for a reason. So if you have a good connection with them, involve them in your life. Ask questions, get wisdom. It will save you years of mistakes and heartache and pain. So use your parents, talk to them. Don't be prideful. Don't act like you know it all, because you don't. Okay? And if you disagree with me, inbox me respectfully. We'll talk about it all there. because I don't like that. Like, God has blessed us with older people for a reason.
Yeah.
So use them, use them as a resource and honor them, listen to them, enhance your life. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All I get an understanding, child.
Yes.
That part.
Oh, yes, here's all that information, you guys. Like I said, if you have any dilemmas or you want to share something personal with us, email us, dearnickandroda@gmail.com, and we'll respond to you there. Please do listen to our audio podcast on Spotify and Apple. You'll see this exact picture of us there. So follow us and tune into those episodes. They're always different to the live streams that we do. So you'll love the topics there. And meet us again here next Friday, 4 p.m. and Saturday, 9 a.m. New Zealand time. We love you guys so much.
We love you, Jesus. Y'all have got to. If you've been listening to the audio, then you know what we're talking about. But we love y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Father's Day to each and every father out there, to be those who have even lost children, those who have had miscarriages and you're still trying, those of you who have lost your babies to senseless violence or even to any type of sickness. We still honor you as fathers. You are amazing. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for being active in your children's lives. They need it. The world needs you to be active. The world needs you to love and train and raise and guide your children. So we honor you. We thank you in whatever capacity you father, whether it's foster, adoptive, grandparent, uncle, however. We thank you so much. So happy Father's Day. We honor each and every one of you.
Father's Day.
Love y'all so much. See y'all next Friday. Now we are two more episodes before the end of season 1. So we are excited. Oh, great season.
I'm sad.
We love to know what you all have thought about the season so far. So hit us up. We love you. We'll see you next week. Bye.